What's going on everyone? You're back with your boy Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at how to factorize using the area model that we've been introduced to in the last couple of lessons. We're just going to see how it's the exact opposite of expanding, and we can still use our rectangles to really help scaffold our answers so we know that we're on the right track. So last lesson we saw how we can take a term like this, 5 bracket 2a plus 3, and instead of just expand it with arrows, we could use the area model to help really scaffold our answer. Because it's being multiplied by 5, I'm going to put that on one side of the rectangle. And then the stuff inside the brackets, the 2a and the plus 3, are going to make up the other side length. In order to get this answer correct, I just have to find the area of both rectangles that have been made. So this is just 10a, and 5 times 3 is equal to 15. This makes my final answer 10a plus 15, and we're done. Today we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to be given the area inside each small rectangle, and we're going to use factorization to work out what both of the side lengths should be. So this is just undoing the expansion. We've got the two areas and we want to get the two side lengths. So what's going to happen is that we have two numbers to start off, and our final answer is going to have a term out the front and then two terms within a bracket. So for this one, I've got 3a and 6. These are the two areas within my rectangle. What I've got to do is find the highest common factor to be that side length multiplier. So for this one, 3 and 6, the highest common factor between them is 3, and that's what goes out the front. Now what we've got to imagine is that 3 multiplied by something is going to give me that 3a. We know that 3 times a is equal to 3a, so that means a is going on this part of the rectangle. Then for the other side, we need 3 multiplied by something to give us 6. 3 times 2 is what that is. So the top numbers are going to be a and plus 2. Another way to think about it is once I've taken that 3 out the front, I've worked out that that's my highest common factor. I'm really just dividing this number from the two terms within the rectangles. So 3a divided by 3 is just a, that goes at the top, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, that goes up the top as well. Now to finish off my answer, I have to write the number out the front, the highest common factor, 3, and then put my side length inside brackets. So this would just be 3 bracket a plus 2. And that's our final answer. For this next one, if I've got 8x and 12 within our rectangle, I've got to find the highest common factor first, which is going to be equal to 4. Because I've taken that 4 out, I now need to work out what 4 multiplied by something is equal to 8x. For this one, it's going to be 2x. Another way you could work that out is 8x divided by 4 is equal to 2x. Then I've got the number 12. 4 times something is equal to 12. It's equal to 3. So now my two sides are 4 and 2x plus 3. I've got to put that in our nice factorization. So I have 4 bracket 2x plus 3, final answer. So this also works for negative numbers. For this rectangle, the whole thing is equal to 14y, and then I'm taking away 21. So I've got 14y minus 21. Again, I've just got to do the exact same stuff. I have to find the highest common factor between 14y and 21, and that's going to be equal to 7. Once I've got that number out the front, I just have to do this same code, or divide both terms by 7. 7 times something is 14y, so the answer there is 2y. 7 times something is equal to minus 21. 7 times minus 3 is going to be that answer. So now I've got a 7 out the front, 2y and minus 3 as my two terms on top. So my final answer is 7 bracket 2y minus 3. This also works if you've got a common pronumeral inside your rectangles. So if I've got 4x squared plus 6x inside the rectangles, the highest common factor for this one is not just 2, but 2x. Because I've taken that out the front, the 2x out the front, I now need to use that in order to find my areas on the inside. 2x times something is equal to 4x squared, and it's actually also 2x. So 2x multiplied by 2x gives us that number. For my second one, I have 2x multiplied by something is equal to 6x, and this is just equal to 3. So now I've got 2x bracket 2x plus 3, and that is my fully factorized term with an extra pronumeral. Just remember, if you do see the same letter in both of our areas, so for this one it was 4x squared and 6x, that means I know for sure that that letter is a common factor. So I've got to take the x out as well. It's just a nice little thing to do just as you start each question. Really quickly just check, hey, is there a letter in both of these terms? If so, I've got to make sure that letter goes out the front. Finally, if I have 33x squared as my entire area, and then I'm taking away 11x, I can just do the exact same thing. I need to find the highest common factor between these two terms. Because there's an x in both of them, I know there's going to be an x out the front of my rectangle, and the highest common factor between 33 and 11 is 11. So out the front there, I've got 11x, and that's going to be multiplied by 3x. This gives me 33x squared, and that's my first area. The second one's a little bit harder. Because I've got 11x out the front and minus 11x as my area, I need to just multiply this by -1. It's the same value, just negative. So this leaves me with a situation where I've got 11x out the front, bracket 3x minus 1, and that's my answer. Again, a really good way to check your answer for all of these is just expand out your final answer. If you expand out and get the same thing as the question, you know you've done it correct. So the major skill on top of having the scaffold is just knowing your times tables. If you're 100% on top of all your times tables, you can find the highest common factor with ease. This is something that I highly recommend you just practice up on because it will just make your life easier. You'll have to think less. Once you've got that scaffold down, that rectangle, I think that these answers are going to come out pretty naturally. The big mathematical skill is just finding the highest common factor. Thanks so much for watching this lesson, and I'll see you later.